Good evening, class. My name is Angela Day, and this video 3 is about what do I know now. So first and foremost, for anyone that may not know what cultural competency is the ability to understand, communicate with, and effectively interact with people across different cultures that differ from your own. First, knowing how to implement cultural competence in the profession is knowing the difference between cultural knowledge, cultural awareness, cultural sensitivity, and cultural competence. But as for cultural competence, I will implement it in my profession as to knowing how to effectively communicate with my clients, making sure I use the right terminology, and just ensuring to not step on any toes when getting to know about my client more. The difference between cultural knowledge, cultural sensitivity, and cultural competence is cultural knowledge means that you know about some cultural characteristics, but you don't really know it in depth. As for cultural sensitivity, it's knowing the differences exist between cultures but not assigning values to the differences. And as for cultural competence, it's bringing together the previous stages and adding operational effectiveness, which is basically being in the field and actually using the knowledge of cultures instead of just how have your perceptions shifted about this topic since taking this course? Well, before taking this course, I was very ignorant, as one would say, about others' cultures. Basically, I was culturally knowledgeable. I knew, certain things about certain beliefs and how Muslims don't eat pork and things like that. But I didn't know cultures in depth until I took this course. Now I'm very well educated on different beliefs and different religions and cultures and things like that. So it's definitely shifted in a positive way, because before I would just have not necessarily a one-track mind, but I would be kind of closed-minded about other cultures because it differed so much from mine, and I wouldn't understand, why they do certain things. But taking this course, it made me think and do research on other cultures, because a lot of our cultures intertwine with each other, but they aren't the exact same, It's like branches of different cultures. What competency do I think I learned? Well, I can't choose just one competency because I think I've learned a lot in these few months of the semester. Just to name a few: how to engage in practice informed research and research informed practice. I learned that from this course and also from my research social work course. And then as for engaging with individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities, I can't remember which video it was. I believe it was video 2, where we had to interview someone of not our culture. That was my favorite assignment because I talked to someone that is Muslim, and we compare, my Christian beliefs, but I don't like to say I'm Christian, but my Christian beliefs and his Muslim beliefs, and we're actually very similar. We have very similar ways of thinking. So I've learned how to engage with individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities well. As for competency, how can I apply this competency? I kind of answered this question in the second one on accident, but stating how I will implement the concepts into my profession. But again, just knowing the correct terminology, and then being able to connect with my client, but still keeping that business and professional, separate. Because when trying to connect you with, one might feel open enough to tell their life story and, compare, not necessarily compare, but, see how they're similar with each other, to make the client feel more open for conversation. But just knowing the right terminology and being able to keep that separate, because I struggled with it before I knew what cultural competency was. But now that I know, and I know that in this profession that it's not ethical and it's frowned upon, I'm glad that I've gotten to learn how to not necessarily get in the field with it, but have some practice with it in class with class discussion.